Come on and feel free. I know you came to have a good time.
If you're just tuning in, this is part 2 of an in-depth conversation between me, WBM, and Nicco Annan, the star of Starz P-Valley. He plays Uncle Clifford, and he's fabulous. And we're talking about what? Being black, gay, and on screen. If you missed the first part, you can click here and find that. Now, let me ask you this. Everything being the same, if you were in the class of 2021, so this piece is going up next spring, do you think you would get the role? Like, do you think the world has changed enough? Or do you think that you just shouldn't have had the role?
I think that you get what's meant for you. But I think if it was 2020, I think that the director, they would have had definitely a more open vision. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think that's the power of representation. You know, sure. I'm experiencing that, William, on a whole nother level right now, because the representation. Initially, when I thought about playing and accepted the role for Uncle Clifford and originated the role. I don't want to say created, because Katori Hall created the role. I originated the role. But when I first thought about it, I was just thinking about getting it true. I was thinking about members of the queer community. I was thinking about being a voice and an advocate for that level of authenticity and truth, right? While I did that, I think, like, one of the beginning interviews that I had on our press junket was with Travell Rhodes. And Travell is a non-binary journalist. And I was like, so what did you think? And it was like, bitch, you got that right. You did it. And I was just, I started applauding and things like that. I've never met Travell before, but the fact that their cosign, you know, it just really meant something to me for someone that did not know me beforehand to feel represented. It wasn't like one of my non-binary friends were affirming me and affirming the performance. It was someone who had no idea who Nicco is.
Could have dragged you. They could have been like, "Bitch, you got that wrong. You the messy, nasty, bitch."
Yeah, and I was waiting for that on that level, to make sure that a community, and yeah, Travell is just one person, but I just wanted to make sure that people were heard. But my experience on the other side of that is a whole nother level of representation that's coming from different generations. It's coming from a lot of mothers, a lot of grandmothers that are estranged from their children for whatever reason, and them seeing Uncle Clifford making them feel they want to reach back out to their child and apologize or try to mend ways. I'm hearing from a lot of cis heterosexual Black men as they identify that they are seeing a level of humanity and truth in the character. I was at the barbershop and my barber, you know, because of quarantine, is cutting hair outside. And I love it because I just love it. It's just good in Midwest and country. And, you know, out here in LA. But one of his customers, he was there and he was just like, yo, Nicco, because I've seen him before, you know, he was just like, yo, I'm loving the show. He said, yo, my boy, he was telling me he saw your picture and was like, yo, this motherfucker scared me. And he was like, scare you? And he was like, yeah, he scared me. He said he's so gangster. And I was like, that's interesting. Scare, that word scare. I think that everyone just does not know. Everyone doesn't have proximity to life outside of what they, you know, their day-to-day. What you about to say?
Well, this is something that I was comment creeping, you know, I watched, because I'm a fan of you. I watched some interviews you did. So you did an interview with Black Gay Nerds. And I was reading the comments. And so this comment, I'm curious, I feel like the person that said this to you could have also said this. I'm curious how you respond to this. So someone suggested
I haven't read these comments.
Someone suggested that you should win an Emmy because you should. And
Thank you.
so then someone responded and said, and I quote, "As you can see, he is gay in real life. So to get an Emmy, I would think he'd have to play a straight man role really well. We then would see if he were the It's easy to play a role of a character that you relate to. Off topic, I stopped watching Empire because I ain't really with none of the man on man thing, but Uncle Clifford reminds me of my brother, and plus the storyline outside of this dude character is popping." So I'm just, what is that? What does that make you like? What
Would that make me feel?
Or just, I mean, like, do you have a response to that, or like, what do you think of that? I don't know what the question is.
I think that is.
What should I reply to?
I would definitely be like, oh, thank you for the love. I would say thank you for the love. I think that that's a person that is coming to terms with things inside of them, and the fact that Uncle Clifford reminds them, huh?
You just call him gay?
No, I said this is a person that's coming to terms with things inside. Just because you come to terms with something, don't mean you gay.
That's the only thing inside of you is being gay. That's it.
No, that's a lie. And I think actually, William, to be fully transparent, I think that there's a part on both sides of the fence of the equation to help, that can help us getting to this middle place. But I wanted to address first that comment so I don't get off topic. But with that comment, I would say that sounds like a person, I said, dealing with some issues within himself. Was it a man?
That's what it seemed the presentation was to me. Yeah, the photo.
Okay.
I don't want to misgender.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. That's why I asked. But I would say that that's a person that's going through those things within themselves. But at the same time, I totally disagree with the comment of you having to be straight to win an Emmy. I think that something that happens, we talk about respectability politics. I think that our people, Black people, for the longest have been shunned for the majestic royalty that we do on a regular basis. And we feel, or have been made to feel, or tried to feel, made to feel like inferior because of those things, or that you must subscribe to something else to become valid. I don't need to do Shakespeare to speak with distinction. My granddaddy was a chief. Okay, my name means firstborn son of a prince. When people ask me what my name is, and I say Nathaniel Nicco Annan, there is no question of who I am. Do you understand what I mean? So I don't need to do Shakespeare to have an eloquent speech or to have any gravitas. I don't think James Earl Jones is trying to be quote unquote white. To when he's playing his roles, he is living in his full power. So I don't think that anyone has to. Someone said something to me on Twitter and said, "Oh, you're gay in real life." I thought that this was that you was acting. So it's kind of like on the same line as what you're talking to. And my response to this person was, "It is acting." Yes, I said, yes, I am gay in real life. What you are witnessing is artistry and craftsmanship. Because who you sleep with, just like who they sleep with, doesn't dictate how well they do those spreadsheets. And who they sleep with don't dictate how well whatever their profession is. So that's how I look at that.
I mean, you said everything I would normally say, so I would just say. Because I mean, I think the other piece of it, right, is, I mean, you said it, but it's just the fact that, like, why does playing straight have to become this gold standard? Like, why is Uncle Clifford not as valuable as any of those, which is exactly what you said. So no need for us to
Everyone is transforming. Everybody in this show is transforming. And I think it's taking people a minute to realize, oh, wait, you're not really a stripper.
Right.
And even if I was, what would be the problem with that? How would that take away from the authenticity of what you experience when you watch it? So one, there's nothing wrong with being a stripper. Two, there are costs that come with that, just like there's costs to being a rapper, or there's costs to being a doctor. you know, you don't think about being a doctor having the stress level of you're holding somebody's heart literally in your hand, you know. Like that's a stressful job. Like you telling people, oh, you didn't make it, or you telling people, oh, you have XYZ disease now. That's not an easy thing. That's not like saying you want a BLT, you know, with mustard or mayo.
I mean, and not to mention that 99% of the people who've won awards, right, are straight people playing straight characters. So you know,
what are you saying?
And there's nothing wrong with being gay. Like, why can't you?
Yeah,
did you enjoy
it ain't nothing wrong with being straight.
Well, that's, you know, we can debate that, but kidding, joking. But it's like, why, if you enjoy the performance, why are you going to discredit it? Because first of all, you're not Uncle Clifford, even if you are gay, you know,
yeah,
I get very so before we wind up, because I know we got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. You're booked, busy, and blessed.
I got a little time. I'm good.
Okay. What are some things you want to see on screen from Black? Like, what are some depictions of Black gay and on screen you would like to see, or roles you would want to play?
You know, one of the things that I want to see, I want to see normal life. I want to see, and that was a part of the goal, even in an appeal with this world. Katori, when she wrote this world, was very clear that Black love is possible. Mm-hmm. Whether that is love at first sight, you know, a lot of times Black people don't feel that we can afford that, you know. Mm-hmm. And even how I've been expressing when I'm talking about Uncle Clifford's identity and the fact that she uses she and her pronouns. I just believe that a lot of Black people have not been afforded the luxury of what do you call it, academic language, you know, to be able to even know the terms of being non-binary or gender fluid. You know, back in my day, grandmama was like, she said you gay, but you know, my granddaddy was like, is you sweet? You know, my godmother's father, Pop, he always would say, yeah, Nicco, yeah, you got a little sugar in your tank? And yeah, Pop.
Was he asking or telling?
He was asking for clarification. He said, yeah, I thought so. All right, well, go ahead now. Y'all gonna make that macaroni? You know, yeah, and that was the end of the conversation. I think sometimes people just want to know what's what. They want to know how to interact with you, and also love you in their own way. Love you in their own way. Again, that is my experience. So some of the things that I want to see are more of the non-traumatic stories, so that can help to even the playing field. And maybe sometimes I don't even deal with it. And that's because it is my experience, you know. My experience growing up had to do with, oh, you know, being home on time, don't break curfew, you know, even as a child, why did you take that Snickers bar? You know, like, you got food at home, you don't need to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you don't need to be eating at people's houses, or, you know, they don't have a Kool-Aid that you want, you know, I got this here at home. You don't, it was regular stuff. I didn't really have...
to the person, right? Like, not to the idea of the gayness, but to the individual. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that, like, that, you know, Nicco likes Snickers and blue Kool-Aid and, you know, like these mundane things that make it really exciting. You know, I got a script for that, so we'll talk offline about that.
Okay.
But
come on with the scripts, because I'm looking for the new additional things to do. The additional things to do. He's trying to read me. I just want you guys to know.
Yeah. But
you lucky you got a halfway cute smile. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking forward to see. Because I think that even in doing P-Valley, I was very conscious again that Black people can love, and that you can see this, because seeing it, that is representation as well. Not just, oh, if people only see tragedy when they see Black gay characters on TV or on film, they assume there is a natural connection that, oh, if you are Black and you are gay, you must go through this same traumatic things. There are absolutely potholes, pigeonholes, that we all fit in and fight to get out of. But some of them are because you are Black. Some of them are because you are gay. Some of them are because you are a man. Some of them are because you don't have a six pack and don't look like so and so and so and so. There's so many other things that who you sleep with is like, again, it falls down list to me now.
And I think it's that, but I have to look at it through the lens of if we recognize that people have limited experiences, right? Like, and that's kind of what the term minority means, that you are not the of the most people in the population, your experience is not necessarily that. If the only thing we show you from these minority communities, if all you ever see about Black people is slave films, then all you're ever going to think is that that's the existence of Black people. You know what I mean? And even within those slave films, if you only see a certain type of enslaved person, then you're going to think that every enslaved person was this. If you only see Black women a certain way. And so that's what I love about the show in general, right? Is that it shows strippers as whole people, right? Like, so you get to understand them as women. You can still disagree with their career choices. You can have an opinion about them, but it is giving you a fullness of their life so that it's no longer just simply rooted in, well, why she got her pussy on the pole? It's like, because she was presented with certain circumstances and she made choices, and maybe you'd make a different choice, but now we get to see the whole person. And the same for gay people. I think a lot of people think that all Black gay men are repressed because who gets to have center stage? People who that was their experience, right? That they didn't come out until they were 40 years old. They had a wife and 2 children, and they maybe get caught doing something. You know what I mean? And so then,
and that's a real experience too. That is a real experience as well.
Well documented.
But as is, you so silly. But as is the other,
As
and I think
the
that
little
is
boy
just as important.
Who is bringing back porn from Las Vegas, and who is cleaning his grandmama's thing, and the little boy in Brooklyn wearing the bangles, turning double dutch. All of those boys exist, and that in the center of their life, like you said. I know for me, growing up, I dealt with, how does the world deal with gay people, especially since this is who I am. But most of my choices growing up were either dealing with other issues related to, me losing my dad. Like, that's where my trauma lived more than being gay. Or it was dealing with, I'm trying to get cute shoes. I'm trying to be cute. I'm trying to be the baddie. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't about me. So, but yeah. It's like,
share your light. Go ahead, share your light.
Well, it's also the recognition that, like, another thing with this limited presentation is that gay people can be the bully, right? Like, gay people can be the hot girl.
Listen.
People can be head of the class, and they can make good choices and bad choices, and they subjugate other people. Gay men are still men. And so they think gay men, we have a privilege, right? I'm a cis man, bangles and all that aside. At the end of the day, I'm a boy, and that carries weight in our society, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And so it's like, let's start to unpack that, and not simply, one person called me out my name at one point, which has happened. And I'm not saying that, and for some people that is the center, that is their trauma center, but it's like, let's have all the stories. Let's explore the wholeness of us. And I think that that's where we'll also get better societal outcomes, because, like the dude in the comments, people then start to see, that's where either I connect what's happening within me, or, that's like my brother. And so now you've become a real person, and now it's come full circle.
Yeah, so and that's what we're doing this for. I know that's what I'm doing. A part of why I do it, because your art really can touch people in a lot of ways. And with this show specifically, it's been kind of like electricity, kind of like zzz, like with as many pockets that it's touching. People from the LGBTQ community, people from the Black community, the crossover in between the 70-year-olds that are watching and having their own Facebook group, about P-Valley, and the high school kids, so it's like, wow, this really touches so many generations. The church people, my mom talking about, church members, sister so-and-so said they were watching the show. And I was like, well, what they watching the show for? I was like, Mama, you watching the show? Why they can't watch the show?
They need the 10%.
Exactly. Come on, giving my Harriet D. Foy all of her flowers for
Right.
the
Talk about
Christmas
someone who's
special.
not the character, right?
Yeah,
Who's acting.
exactly, exactly.
Who's acting.
We all are. We all are. But I think it's also another point to that we don't get to talk about is that Black gay people, men and women, are trained. That they don't like. It's just like,
What do you,
oh,
I
in
don't
order
understand
to
what you're
play.
saying. That doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I don't know. This does not compute. Break it down for break it
Exactly.
down for the children.
I'm just saying, like, everyone that just because it's a specialized character doesn't mean that the actor cannot transform. That's my job. My job is to study. My job is to lay in on the skins of the character. So whether I am playing Big Charles in Hot Wing King, or whether I am playing Uncle Clifford in P-Valley, my job, Nico's job as the actor, is to become. Um, and there's certain things that my body, my mind, my energy, when I say my body, I'm talking about my totality, not just the physical, that will be able to house. Whereas you can take my brother on the show, J. Alphonse Nicholson. His body, his tempo, it embodies other things. If you're looking at both of us, yeah, we both Black, we both men. Who's gonna play a certain type of character? You know, so that just goes into type, but he breaks those types as well because he plays all different genres, period pieces. A lot of people didn't even know that was him in Just Mercy, or knew that was him in Self Made, that played the husband. It was just a lot of things that we as people, we train, we are educated, we are read, so it doesn't mean that, oh, I must really be Uncle Clifford in real life in order for it to be real.
But that's how you know you
Yeah.
did your job, right? That's how you know you're
Yeah.
killing it.
Yeah.
That they can't even accept that you didn't just show up on set and just read a teleprompter. They cannot accept that this is like a construction years in the making. They just cannot wrap
Yeah.
their minds around that because you're killing it. So,
Thank you. They
so
will.
pat yourself on the back with that. I don't give compliments often, so put that in your book.
This is true. The times that I've known you, I don't really know that part of you. This is very interesting.
Don't be messy. I give you didn't rise to the occasion, but now you did. So enjoy it.
Oh, 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 oh. See,
You know,
y'all, I'm glad that y'all are subscribing to his channel and listening regardless of the shade, in spite of.
because of, you said not in spite of, because of, that's why you come. Just like so the last thing, I guess, we got to have you back, and we have to do this again, and we got to do it again and again and again, because I think there's so many things to talk about. But the last thing with this, or for today's conversation, is what would you want to then say to 18-year-old Nicco, 18-year-old William, who is starting as a little, the Black gay boy who is affirmed and comfortable in his gayness and is now embarking on a journey in this industry, right? They like, I want to grow up and I want to be all the things that we wanted to do when we started. You started at Perch, I started at Howard, all the dreams we had. What do you want to say to him now in this world?
I probably wouldn't want to say anything because I wouldn't want to mess up the road. I wouldn't want to mess up the road. I feel like every single thing that I've gone through, part of the blessing and the power for me personally in this moment, personally and artistically, is because I can trace the thread in my life from what happened to how it feeds me now. And that right there, I feel like is just such a gift. I don't think many people in life have the opportunity to have a moment of like, oh, I went through this because, or this happened to me to prepare me for blah, blah, blah. I can feel that right now. So I feel very honored and blessed. So I probably wouldn't want to say anything to mess that up.
That's a real cute Hollywood answer.
No, that ain't no Hollywood answer. That's real talk.
No, but I know you, Nicco, and I know that if he was in your face right now, if some little 18-year-old boy was in that room right now, I know your energy, you would love on him and you would tell him something.
That's different.
You may not tell him what to do, but you may not like say, here's how you need to be, but you will offer him something.
I absolutely would, but you said, what would I tell myself? So that's
Fair.
why I said I would.
Well, I'm saying to this.
So if
Okay, let me rephrase the question to
I
the
got it now.
to another little. I'm saying to his name is Nicco William, and we've combined into one person, and he just started this semester. He's sitting at home taking acting class on Zoom.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Listen, taking acting classes on Zoom. You taking your acting classes on Zoom, I would tell you, look, learn your angles. Use this time, learn your. But aside from that, I would tell him to soul search. If he was being an actor or being an artist, I would say soul search, and understand why he is doing this. I would say understand that someone telling you no is not meaning, it doesn't mean not ever. It may mean just not right now. I think that there is power. I cannot lie. This is me talking to you now. I think that there is power when those people told me about playing straight. And how I would translate that to that young Nicco William or that young 18-year-old gay boy. I would say to him is that there's a time and a place for every single thing that you feel. And as you grow, there's room for all of it. Sometimes the no, sometimes that chastisement is about understanding when and where you can use your fire. That's what I would say in a nutshell without going too deep.
I mean, at least at 18, that'd have probably been as deep as I could go. That would have rocked my world.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like processing now, and I'm only 22, so I can only imagine at 18.
Times what?
You tell me.
Oh, here he go. Here he go, y'all.
So that's all we have time for today. I want to thank the fabulous Nicco Annan for joining us here and talking about being Black, gay, and on screen. We'll put in the box below or above or wherever these boxes live how you can stay in touch with him, because I know there are so many more things that we're going to see from him in so many different ways. And, I look forward to being able to talk to you again, Nicco. Thank you.
I thank you. I look forward to it as well. Literally, I think that you as a person and you in this platform and the things that you're talking about actually can really help a lot of people. So that's why I am here and will always be here. So you just call.
Thank you. So that's that on that. Being Black, gay, and on screen is a whole lot of things, and we talked about a few of them. If you don't already know, the Wonderful World of WBM is this and so much more. We have interviews, we have videos, original creative concepts, and every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, I go live and talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. So if that excites you or makes you at least a little bit curious, why don't you just go ahead and subscribe? It's free. And if you really care, you can tap the bell notification so that you can be the first to find out when new shit goes up. Okay, I'm done. Bye.